Hello, everybody. It's Jason Artiga, and this is another episode of Cinema Macabro. Now, today's video, I'm going to do a review on Villain of the Year, the Joker one-shot written by John Carpenter and Anthony Burch. Now, John Carpenter, he's the master of horror. Like, the guy has made countless iconic characters in 80s cinema, from Snake Plissken, Michael Myers, McCready, you name it. He's done it. And there's nothing he can't do. I mean, almost 40 to 50 years being in the movie business, and in the recent years launching a comic book company with his wife Sandy King, Carpenter enters the world of DC Comics with a bang. Wednesday, I had the pleasure of reading John Carpenter's foray into the DC Comics with the one-shot Joker Year of the Villain series. Well, not series, one-shot. And, you know, it was written by Carpenter and Anthony Burch, along with the art by Mark Deering and Philip Tan. And they had a really good colorist, J. David Ramos. They make this 35-page dark as hell one-shot. It's taken place throughout Gotham after the Joker escapes from Arkham Asylum. And the story takes place from the recently adopted henchman's point of view, who's not named but known as the Six of Hearts according to the Joker. The Six of Hearts follows the Joker, and they get into adventures in the form of his bloodthirsty killings that the Joker partakes in. Now, this comic book is not for the easily triggered. This contains themes that are disturbing, and especially how mental illness is depicted in this story. And, especially when it deals with its theme of trauma. The Six of Hearts, or the Henchman as the Joker sometimes calls him, the Joker's new sidekick, gets taken into a ride of terror as they dress in Batman and Robin costumes from the 60s series. And they go around killing. It's actually more the Joker doing it. There's a slight contrast between the Joker and the Henchman, where the Henchman he's struggling with PTSD and flashbacks of being abused and is not a killer, and the Joker seems to be a natural at what he does, where he's insane, but he's kind of sane when he does these killings based on ego. So some of the writing is kind of hard to swallow, especially if you're triggered easy. And this book is not without its dark humor. One scene involving a dog and a gun, I won't give too much away. It was shocking and made my stomach churn, but made me laugh towards the end. The henchman's portrayal of mental illness is something that we can sympathize with. It's like one of those books that shows a very scary version of the Clown Prince of Crime, even giving him subtle hints of the death of Jason Todd, that especially that one comic book where he kills the second Robin. The artwork by Mark Deering and Philip Tan is remarkable, and recreates at one time one panel where the Joker is beating somebody with a crowbar like he did Jason Todd. The artwork is wonderful, and you actually see the theatrics of the Joker. I mean, like, you just see him as this like really menacing character where you actually are scared of him, and you see him how he's a punk in, like, compared to somebody like the Enchantress, but yet with innocent people is just like you actually feel that fear because you know that he's a killer. This is like not John Carpenter's first foray into writing comics. His wife Sandy King Carpenter, who produced some of his later films like The Mouth of Madness, has a comic book company with Carpenter, and it's called Storm King Productions, where they've written Tales of a Halloween Night, which just recently concluded a deal with Sci-Fi to be a series, and my personal favorite, Asylum. Villain of the Year is one of those comic books whereas we hope for a good ending for the Six of Hearts. And the book at times is very tragic and heartbreaking, and it makes you long for a good ending. And I would say read this book. Carpenter should definitely write more for DC, and I personally would like to see him take on Batman, or possible a collaboration with Frank Miller. I mean, Carpenter fits in the DC world, especially in the Batman world, because I mean, he's the creator of like numerous alpha male characters that were iconic in the 80s. I mean, you have like McCready and Snake Plissken and Jack Burton, not to mention Michael Myers, one of the icons of horror. So you could imagine him writing the Rogues Gallery for Batman and creating or heightening the tension with his writing. You know, Carpenter fits in this world, bringing in the darkness for Batman and scaling the Joker's actions into more realistic situations like he did this book. So if you like that kind of stuff, read this book. It's really good. It's getting a lot of good reviews, and hopefully this is not Carpenter's last collaboration for DC. And with that, guys, if you have any questions or any comments, leave them down below and tell me what you think of Villain of the Year. Did you like it? Did you think it's a pretty awesome first foray for John Carpenter, right, for DC? Let me know in the comments down below. And guys, I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.